Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Elio Moon Arts. We're back again this week with another Elegance collection themed project. So this one was inspired by Treasure Books. I think her name's Natasha from Treasure Books. She created this little mini set, and I thought it would work perfectly for the Elegance collection. So in the beginning of our Elegance collection, we created our journal, and we've made our little mini flip. Oops, let's undo that first. Flip album. We've put in our signatures. We've got a couple of other things to go in here. We've made our band to close our journal up. So that goes that way now. And now we're going to make this. Now you could also make this as a standalone project and just gift it to somebody. So if you've got a few of these made up and you have somebody unexpectedly come over at Christmas time, what a great little gift to give to somebody. So you've got an ephemera pocket. I've just done some embossing on some of the Elegance paper, and I've also backed some of these with just a tag so you can write it. This one's got butterflies. This one's got roses. I'm embossing rose. This one's got like an abstracty type flower. I didn't put anything on the back of this one. And there was some little offcuts from those, so I just made a couple of tickets. You can go either side. You could actually embellish these even more if you wanted to, but I just thought they were just something a little bit nifty. So I'll turn them back around, goes that way, and pop them back in. So this is the ephemera folder. I've actually used laminating sheets on this, which is the same as what Natasha did. The reason that I did that is because, like Natasha, I actually have them. I've had them for many, many years, and they've been sitting in my stash and I haven't used them. So I thought this was a great idea to come up with something to use them. So thanks, Natasha, for that idea. I've created a little mini notebook, and I've just had this, I've got a collection of old bits of jewellery, and this was just a little pen that's got a little bit of green stone on the end of it. It's actually a natural stone of some sort. I'm not sure what it's called. And so this was just, and this I just put in there to hold the pages closed, was just a little hair clip. And now I've got to get it off. It's not that bad. Yeah, so this was just something I picked up at the flea market or maybe at the op shop. And so now we've just got this little book. I've actually sewn mine in with a pamphlet stitch, a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, the same as Natasha. You could use your sewing machine and sew this in as well. And we may do that on the next one. I'm not 100% sure yet. So let's put these back on here. And I've just used, this is a little, well, this is not a skeleton one, but a binder clip. And I've just added the little thingo on there just to bling it up a little bit. So this is using a whole sheet plus a little bit more. So some of the scraps that we had from our other things, we'll also be using. These are a couple of the triangles that we've cut out. So this top one is the one that's come out of the sleeve for our bookmark holder, and the larger triangle is the one that we cut out of here. And this is just a little placeholder. So you can open up your journal, oops, like that. Throw a couple of pages under it, and it'll hold your page for you. And I'm sure it's just something a little bit different, and I quite like the idea of being able to use all of it. So and then we've got I've just created a bookmark, and that's out of the Elegance collection. I've made it big enough to fit into this little sleeve. Whether you use the whole sleeve or whether you pull the bookmark out. I just thought it was a bit pretty. And then I've just got this little journal, which is really nice to have in your handbag, I thought. So you could have this one in your handbag, and even this one you could put in your handbag just to write some little notes on. I've just had a little bit of ribbon, and I had some pearls that I had in my beads that I had in my stash, and I've just tied them on, and they just tie up. You can do a little bow with them if you like. And they just sit there like that. But I just thought this was a really nice set, and I just thought I would show you how what I did with it. You could also, if you're going to make a journal like this one, like we did in our first thingo, in our first video, this would be nice to go with it, even as an extra piece that can go with that. It will actually fit inside of here as well. So you can put this onto well, let me have a look. Let's open this up and have a look. So here's what we could do. So this ephemera folder could fit into our book. Let's get a different page we haven't done anything on. So maybe this green one, this would actually fit onto a page. Now you could either sew this onto your page, or you can just glue it on, and you'll have you can either glue it on with just 3 sides and then have a pocket at the back where you can glue the whole thing down, or you could sew it onto your page is another thing, or you could sew it and just put things on this side, sew it, just put things on this side, depending on what you want. So that's where that could go. You could use this in here as well. You could take this out. Let's try on a different coloured page this time. Maybe on this one. You can put this on here, and you can stick bits of ephemera, or you can just choose to keep a bookmark in there, and you won't need it to hold your page. We've got our other little pocket on the front of this one that we made the last time we were here. And this little one, well, I mean, we could make a pocket for it to go into our journal if we wanted to. The little paper page placement thing, we can just pop it on there. You could pop it on the top if you wanted to, and that'll hold our place. Lots of things you can do with this, but I just thought it was a really nice little set, and it'd be something nice to give to somebody. So I'm just going to put this aside for the minute, and we're going to work on this. Now, I've already pre-cut my pieces, and if you go over to the Couture Creations blog, you will find all of the measurements for this project that we're going to do today. So first of all, I better get out my sheet so that I can tell you what I've done. Just hold on 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back now with what I needed. So what we have here is, we're going to start off with a one piece of Couture Creations Elegance collection paper. You can choose which side you want to do. This time I've had this on the inside, and I've used the back side for that. Trusty slicer and dicer. Looks like I'm going to make another set. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to take off this little piece on the bottom of it. So this is Couture Creations Elegance collection. It's really beautiful, and it's really lovely to be able to work with something that can do so many different things. So our first cut is going to be at 5.5 inches. So there's 5.5 for me. So we're going to cut down there. And yep, this is our 5.5 inch piece. So this is our 5.5. There we go. Yep, this is our 5.5 inch piece. Now we're going to cut it at 8.5. So cut this one at 8.5. So this piece now becomes our journal cover. So that'll become this piece. This piece here will now become our little mini pad that can go into your bag. Now this one we're going to cut at 9.5 inches. We want 9.5 inches. Yep. This one is going to become your ephemera folder, so that's this one here. So this will become your ephemera folder. And this one will become this piece, the front piece of your bookmark sleeve. So the extra pieces that you're going to need, you'll need a piece to make your bookmark, and you'll need a piece big enough so that you can back it back the front of your bookmark holder onto it, so that'll all fit in there like that. Okay, so that's how all of that will fit together. So that's my one. So we're going to put all these pieces aside for now because I'm not going to use those ones today. So we'll start working from the one that I currently have. Okay, so these are the ones that I've already made. So to start off with, we're going to do our large, we're going to prep these all at the one time. So once you have your pieces cut out, you're going to fold this in half, but don't fold it directly in half and then make a really harsh line. I just sort of pinched it at the top in half, just like that, and just left a little mark there just so that I could see where the center was, and then I scored 1/4 of an inch on either side, so it gives me about a 1/2 inch spine. So if you don't want to have this kind of spine, you don't have to. You can quite easily just fold this directly in half if that's what you would do. I then went around and I rounded my corners and I inked this whole piece. So that was the first thing, that was the first bit that I did. The next bit I did was I grabbed my little mini journal piece. Get you up out of there for a minute. And I've done the same thing. So this time I've just folded it directly in half. I've rounded the corners and I've inked it. And then with our ephemera piece, it's a long piece, I'm going to fold it lengthwise. And I'm going to measure, so this was the piece that came out of here. And what I needed to do with this one is I needed to measure, once it was folded in half, I then took this piece, took the front piece and put it towards the center. And I just made a little pinch in the top of it so that I could see where the center mark was. And then from that center mark, I measured 3.5 inches, and I put a little mark with a pencil. And then I sort of wanted about 1/4 of an inch on either side of here. So I just got my ruler and a Stanley knife, opened this up, took my ruler and I measured and I cut this V out. Then I inked this and I rounded the corners once again. So we've got these two pieces floating. We've got this piece floating around at the moment, but we haven't got this one yet. So my next step was to grab this piece and basically the same thing. I folded it in half, but I didn't crease it. And then when I folded it in half, I found that center line. So I found that center line, and then what I did was I measured 3 inches, not 3.5 inches on this one. And then I've left about 1/4 of an inch on either side. So now we have our ephemera pocket, our mini journal, and our little pad. And now we have our front, the front of our bookmark sleeve. And now we have our little page holder. Now the next two pieces that I had to cut out. So they will be different for everybody depending on how you've cut yours, how far you sew over on yours, and all of that type of thing. So my next thing was to go through my scraps that we've had from previous videos and find a piece that was going to be approximately 1/4 inch larger all the way around for the front of my bookmark. So I knew I wanted it about 1/4 of an inch, so I just measured that out and then I just left it. I'm actually going to laminate these. I actually like the look of it. I like the fact that it's a little bit more durable than not using the lamination sheets on it. But by all means, you do not have to laminate any of this. You can actually do this and just glue it. You can actually do this and just sew it. The choices are totally yours. I'm actually going to sew and I'm going to laminate these, so you'll get to see that process today. And then when I after we've done this piece, I then looked at what am I going to put in here. Now I needed to make sure that it was something that was going to fit but also allow me to be able to sew on either side and this still fit in there. So I got another piece of the Elegance collection and I cut it down to be 1/4 of an inch smaller on either side than what I had for my front cover. I could have it like this if I wanted to, which is I don't know, I do like that, but I think I like that better, especially when I pop this one in behind there. You get that little pop of pink, and it still matches with everything here because all of the colours are the same colours as what's in the Elegant collection, because that's what this is. So that's that part of the discussion. So in the instructions that you'll see on the Couture Creations blog, I've drawn up this little diagram here. This one here for cutting out your V's and joining your, don't mind me, these were drawn on the computer, so I'm not the greatest at that type of stuff. So that's what we basically did. So now all of our pieces are ready. We're going to grab some lamination sheets and we're going to place all of these pieces in and we're going to laminate them. So give me 2 seconds and I'll just put the laminator on. Okay, I'm back. I'm just going to turn this on and let it heat itself up to the right temperature to use it. So as you can see, I have a large packet of lamination sheets. I think it must be nearly a new packet. Years ago we used to use them a lot, not so much these days. So I've got a small piece here that I cut off from the last time when I was using it, because we sort of used about 2.5 sheets when we created this. So I'm thinking I'm going to grab my triangle pieces. I'm going to pop one in here. Right up there. Oh, can you see that? Let me have a look. Pull this up here a bit. I'm going to put that one in there. You need to leave enough room so that you can actually cut them out too when you're done. I'm going to put that one there. I might put my bookmark. Will it fit that way? No, not quite. So I'll put my bookmark in there, like so. Okay, so that's the first one done. So I'm going to grab another lamination sheet. So I'm going to grab my journal cover, the mini journal cover. Sort of line that up in there. I'm going to grab maybe the back of my bookmark. Pop in here, and maybe the front of my bookmark can go into this one. So I've got enough room for all of that. Yep, so that's our next one. And I don't know whether you can see it. No, it's just out of view for you guys. So my laminator has a little green button, so it's telling me that it's time to go. But I just want to put my last one together before I start laminating anything. Open this one up, so I'm going to put my ephemera folder in. Make sure it's sitting in there. In there. And I'm hoping that this one's going to fit. Might have to change a couple of these things around. I wonder whether if I move that one, whether that one will fit. Nope. Might have to use an extra sheet. I might just cut off a piece that's big enough for it. Whether this one will fit in here. Don't mind me, yes, I talk to myself all the time. No, that's not going to fit in there. I needed to cut off just a small amount to be able to do this last piece. Put that one back in there. I know this one is not going to fit, but maybe, yeah, I might not need an extra sheet. Give me a second. Play with this a little bit. I wonder if we can do that, and whether this one will fit right on that edge. fit right on this edge. That's right up the edge there, isn't it? I'll have to go on this one. So there's just enough space. Pop that there. I'm going to pop that one in there. Pop this one over here. Okay. So this is the one that I'm a little concerned about because that one is very close to the edge. But let's start putting these through. So, put this one over here for the minute. I'm going to take this one first. Where is my top and my bottom of this? That's the top edge. So I'm just going to pop this in. And sometimes I put these through a couple of times just to make sure they're really well sealed, because sometimes I'm just going to line it up and let the machine do its job. Let's move this over here so you can see. Not the most exciting thing in the world to be watching, but there you go. Okay. So now we're just going to cut all these out. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to just quickly cut them out, and I'll probably edit the video so that you don't have to watch me do that, because I'm sure you all know how to cut by now. Fold along each of these folds that I made earlier for the spine of mine. I mean, if you haven't done a spine like this, and that's perfectly fine, then you won't need to do it. And now that'll sit nicely together. Just needs that to be a little bit straightened up. Okay, so first off, we're going to work on our mini journal. Okay, so this one, I actually know that already that I want to put an eyelet in, and I want that eyelet to be measured on both sides and the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my little hole punch, and while I've got it here and I've got it all squared up, I'm going to eyeball the middle, because I'm not going to measure it, I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to put it over far enough so now I know that both of these holes, when I go to, okay, there's one, I know that both these holes will match up properly by doing it at this stage and not doing it at a later stage. Okay, because we'll put a bit of ribbon and an eyelet in there. Okay, when we're done. So we're going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So we will need a piece of paper. Maybe one of these. This might be long enough and wide enough. No, not quite. So my piece of paper that I need it to be 1/4 inch wide by 5.5 inches long. Okay, so just grab one of these, I might mark it off. So we have, what did I say, 1/4 inch wide. Pen here. There's my 1/4 inch mark. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up on the line here. Oops, sorry about that, I just bumped the camera. My buff head. I'll just do it on this line here. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab my little craft knife. Just going to cut that piece out, just like that. No, that's not going to work. I think this is the right length. It's the right length. It's nearly the right size. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this piece in half, find the centre of it. I'm going to score that line. we've got 2 signatures that we've got to go put into here. So what I need to do then is I need to get the outside of this piece and fold it to the centre line. And then we'll unfold that one. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to grab this one, we're going to fold it to the centre line. And you want to make sure you really burnish these edges down, because we're going to use these lines as guides to poke our holes in. So we've got 2 and 1 in the middle. So we just want to put we're going to put our things on the ones on the side here. So we're going to fold this directly in half, burnish off that halfway point. Then we're going to go from this end, we're going to fold this end into the centre, burnish that one, turn it around, take the other end and fold it up to the centre line, turn it around. You can eyeball this, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. So for me, this just makes it a little easier. So I've got a pokey tool from Couture Creations. And I'm just going to mark these intersections just so that you can see them a little better. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're the ones that we need to poke into our spine. So I think I'm going to do it from this way, because if I poke from this side through to the inside, I won't have that. Yep, that's beautiful. So I'm just going to line that back up on that hole. Yep, like that. And I want to make another one here. So they're directly opposite each other. That's great. I'll just line that back up on there. Yep. We go this hole. That one's a bit off. That one needs to come. That one in line. That one over here a little bit further. Okay. Do this one. Need to make these line up. 1, 2. That's not lined up, so we need to go here. Looks like I'll be keeping this one. That one's right. That one's right. So this one needs to be here. Okay. Might have been better off just eyeballing on this one for me this time. So I wonder whether we can push that one back through. Oh, yeah, that works a little bit. Okay, so we've punched our holes into our spine. Now we're going to get our signatures. Now I've already pre-created these signatures and I've just cut them down to fit into my journal. And so what I did was I've got, I think I've got 10 pages in each. So it makes 20 pages. I think there's 40 pages in this journal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's the centre. Yep. So I've got 20 pages in each one of these, so that makes 40 pages for our journal. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to measure, we're going to look up our lines. I want this one first. We're going to place our line marker on the inside here, like so. Let's make sure our pages are kept. Just need to put that one back on there so they stay in line. One there, I might put one on the bottom corner down here too, just to hold it all straight in line. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this beside the book, and I'm just going to poke a little hole. I'm going to come from this one straight across, this one straight across, and this one straight across, and they should line up with our other ones. But to actually complete the hole, I'm going to put my pokey tool on the hole, close my book over, twist and turn and push through all at the same time. Just give it a little bit of a wriggle just to make sure it's big enough so your needle will be able to go through. Go the same to the next one. Find the hole, push in the hole, fold, twist and poke through. Now for our last one, in the hole, twist and poke through. And we're going to do the same with this one. It's our second signature for the mini journal. One more. So we'll just put a binder clip on that side and do the same on this side. Make sure that's all pushed down into place. Same steps again. Going to measure off with this. Right beside it. Poke a hole, poke a hole, and poke a little hole, just so that we know where everything's going. Just need to make sure that one's all sitting down in place. So now we're going to poke a hole through here, line it up, push it through. So the paper that I've used for this signature is some avocado dyed paper that I made. Maybe we'll do that as a video one time here, but I'm sure there's plenty of other people that have done it before. So here are our two signatures. I'll just grab my binding toolbox. So most of my other ones I have done with the pink for this collection, but this one I think I'm going to do with, I'm going to go with the blue. So this is a waxed thread, and I've either bought it from one of the cheap shops, or it's it could also be from Kmart. That's if you're here in Australia anyway. So now we need a piece of wax thread that's 3 times the length of our book. That just gives us a nice amount to play with. So thread our needle. So for me, I need to go through the center first. So I'm going to pop my needle into the hole and push it through, and then I'm going to find the bottom hole and pull my thread through, and I'm just going to leave a little tail inside. Now I'm going to go to my bottom hole, so I'm using these ones right on this side. So I'm going to get my bottom hole, I'm going to poke the needle through there, find my bottom holes, line them up, I'm going to pull that all the way through to line this one up, because this one's not playing the game today. Poke it through. Make sure, oops. Looks like I'll be keeping this one. I've made a few boo-boos on this one. I'll just put that right through the paper. You do have to be a little careful when you're doing this, unlike what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm going to poke that through that one. Make sure I'm in the right side. Yes, it's that side I need to be in. Poke through this hole. Bring it through. That's it. Just going to give this a little tug just to make sure it's nice and firmly in place. Give this side a little bit of a tug, and now we're going to bring our thread. The reason I've given this a tug is so that we can see really clearly when I go to put the needle through the other side, and that it's not going to go and split my thread, because I don't want it to split my thread. And we're playing games here today, apparently. Okay, it's in through that one. Yeah, there it goes. Beautiful. So now I'm just going to pull that up through there. Pull it nice and firmly. Now I'm going to have one of these strings under and one of the strings over. We go right over left, tie it, left over right, and tie it. Okay, so there's our first signature in, and now we're going to do the same thing again with our next signature, which is this one. So I've already poked the holes in for this one. That goes up this way. And so now we're going to get another piece of thread that's 3 times the length of our little journal tab. Our little journal. That one. Please. Let's try that again. So 1, 2, 3. Cut that piece off. Thread this one through. There we go. So we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to go through the center. The reason I go through the center, okay, some people have asked, the reason I go through the center this way is because I want my tie bits to be on the inside and not on the outside. I could leave them on the outside and perhaps decide to make a dangle of some sort and put on it, which would be quite nice. But just personal preference, I prefer it to be on the inside. Okay, so that's gone through there. Okay, now we're going to go through the top one. Yep. Poke. Damn, sometimes they're really tight. Okay, good. So that's nice and firm, so I'm just going to poke this back through here. And back through there. And hope not to split my thread. No, I haven't, which is great. Pull that back through. Put one on either side. Right over left, left over right, right over left. Okay. Now we have our little journal, our mini journal. And those papers probably could have been cut down a little bit. I'm not that worried about it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over my, I'll show you what I've got. Everybody has something a little different. So I have an old weight. Now for me, I might use one of these turquoisey. I can grab hold of it. I think they might look nice, so we might use one of those, a couple of those, one on either side. So we've got turquoise. So I bought this one on eBay, I think, so I'm just going to grab one of these. I've got 2 of the little things that go on to the back of it. So I throw my eyelet down first. Do the back page first. I throw my book down on the way that I want the eyelet, where I want the eyelet to show. I grab my little clip, and I've got my little punch, which is this one here, and I pop it on top. I grab my hammer, and it's 1, 2. Don't have to smack it too hard, but just enough to let it go in. So there's one done. Do this one. Throw this side down. Oops. Put a little ring on the top, and once again we're going to go. There we have it. That's got its rings in it now. I'm just going to put this aside for the moment. And I just have that sitting on the edge of my desk most of the time. Okay, so there we've got that. Just needs to have a ribbon put in it, and then that piece is finished. And you can add any extra decoration that you might like, whether you want to put beads on yours, totally up to you. So our next part of this project will be our little mini notepad. So I think I've got I think I've done the same thing again. I think I've got about 10 pieces of paper in here, which gives me 20 pages all together. So once again, I'm going to, and I've just cut this down to size. I think this time what I might do though is I might just put these clips on and we might go to the sewing machine. I have yet to do this, so this will be trial and error for me as well. Just going to pop them down like that. So see if I can, I'm just going to turn this off and then I'll turn it over on at the sewing machines. Okay, we're at the sewing machine now. I've got some pink thread in and I'm just going to sew directly down the centre of this. I'm just going to make sure my needle goes into the right part. It's not quite in the right spot. So just drip the needle up, there we go. Push it down, put my foot down, find my pedal. I'm just going to go. And I'm just doing a zigzag stitch. I can do a straight stitch, but I'm also taking it very slow. Back stitch a little on the end. And this time, and I think that little bit of detail on this, oops, I'll just turn you back around here. And I think this little bit of detail on the spine looks really cool. I'd probably be inclined to do that again. So now we have our little notebook, which is neatly done. I might need to tidy up some of the corners on this one, but there's our little notebook. Here's our mini journal, all ready to go. So now we're going to work on our little ephemera holder here. So once again, we're going to go back to the sewing machine for this one. I'm going to sew all around the outside of this first because I want this to be caught with the sewing machine as well, and then I'm going to sew down these two sides so that we can then use it as an ephemera pocket. Okay, I haven't cut off the strings yet, but this is what we've ended up with. So this will be able to put our little bits of ephemera in. Now we have one more lot of, I've got a couple more lots of sewing. I need to sew the bookmark sleeve, so I'm going to sew all around this edge and sew that together, and then I'm going to sew around the edges of these two pieces, and then I'm going to sew them directly across the top here. So I'm just going to go back to the sewing machine. What we don't need. Okay, now this one. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one. I think I might have to unpick it and maybe make another one, because this is definitely not going to fit in there. I don't even think if I cut it down a little further that it will fit in there. Maybe I'm wrong, but oh no, it does. It fits in there now. I've just trimmed it off a little bit. It's still a little tight, but I'll adjust that a little bit later on. So now, let me clean up all of my mess. Put all my junk over there. Let's have a look at what we've got. So we have our mini journal with our little clip. That's on a place saver. We have our little mini notepad. I'm going to use one of these little clips on it. Probably not that one. I'd like a pink one, I think, on this. Oh no, there's a turquoise one. That'll look nice. That'll tie in, or it might be a light mint one. So I'm just going to pop that on the front there to hold it closed. We got our little bookmark and bookmark sleeve. And we have our ephemera folder. So with the ephemera folder, I was making these the other day, just some embossed tags. We can throw some of these in here. for the time being, or like before, I could just take the ones out of here and use these for the time being. These ones are all Couture Creation papers. So these are the backs. And I've just embossed on them with some embossing folders that I had here at home. Same with this one. So this was an elegance collection paper, and same with this one. So I'm sure you can manage to make your tags whatever size you would like. I've just made 3. I thought 1 single one and 2 double tags. So I'm just going to pop them in their little envelope, and these are a couple of tickets that can pop in there, or anything else that you would like to pop in yours. But I just thought this would make a really nice little gift. So now we've got all our pieces. I might just see if I can find a matching piece of ribbon. And then it's completed. Might have to go with a bit of pink for this one, because I don't think I've got any ribbon that is that turquoisey colour. That's okay. Okay, that should be long enough. That's 1. That's 2. Just fold these in half. Pull that through on that side. Same with this side, do the same, fold it in half. Now that ties up beautifully. How cute is that? Big thank you to Natasha from Treasure Books for this. Really had a lot of fun playing around with it, and totally enjoyed your video as well. And I hope you guys out there that follow the Couture Creations blog, that you have a go at this. It's a really fun project, and it's quite easy, and I think it makes a wonderful little gift to give to somebody. Hey guys, have a great day, and I'll talk to you when I'm here next time.